Hi there. Are you thinking about living in Mexico? Are you wondering if you should drive your car down to Mexico or just leave it where you live now? In this video, we're going to talk about all of those questions and concerns. As many of you may know, I'm Bill the Geek and I've lived in Mexico for about 20 years now. When I first came down here, I didn't have a car for 5 years. I lived in Puerto Vallarta, about 4 blocks from the beach, and I walked everywhere. I love pedestrian traffic. I walked to get my groceries, I walked to go to a restaurant, I walked to the beach, and I was fine for 5 years. So I lived at that one place for 1 year, then I got an apartment up high on a hill. It was great. The rent was very affordable. I had my own private swimming pool overlooking the ocean, but it was up on a hill. So I would walk down into town, down this hill every day, pick up some tacos and some beverages, and then I would take a taxi up the hill, and I did that for 3 years, and the taxi ride was $1.50. The place was somewhat secluded, so I decided to move in town. I wanted to live where everything was on a flat surface so I could walk around and not be taking a taxi back every day. My dad died, I ended up with his SUV, so I never used it. I could walk everywhere. I could walk to the beach in about 5 minutes. All of my shopping stuff I could get done just walking around. I would use the car to drive to Costco. I would use the car to go pay my phone bill, but I only did that once a month. I paid $25 a month to keep my car in a nice little garage. Owning a car is not real expensive in Mexico. Gas is about the same as in the United States. Car insurance is much less. I pay about $400 a year for that. License plates cost about $35 a month, but things get complicated when you're an American or a Canadian crossing the Mexican border with a car, depending upon your visa status. Then I moved to Guadalajara. Everything that I wanted was a block away from where I lived. But Guadalajara has about 3 million people, and the worst thing about Guadalajara is the traffic. Again, I would only use my car to go to Costco or maybe to the super mall to pay for my phone bill. That's when Uber became popular. And if I was going to a place that I didn't know anything about, I would just take Uber. And it was very inexpensive. It was less expensive than buying gas. If I took a long trip that was going to take 4 or 5 hours, I would take the bus lines. The bus lines were very affordable, and the tolls that you would pay on a 4 or 5 hour drive were about twice as much as you would pay in gasoline. I know several Canadian and American millionaires down here that do not own cars. If you bring your car down here, it can be a headache. It depends on what's going to happen to the car. It depends on if you have a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year visa. And then if you get a permanent visa, all kinds of weird stuff happens to the car. So before you come down here with a car, talk to the consulate, talk to the Mexican immigration office. See what type of visa you're going to have and what's going to happen to your car. And it gets really complicated. It's more complicated to bring a car down here from the United States and Canada than it is to purchase a car in Mexico. Tell you what, it might be funny, but you may just want to sell your car in the United States or Canada, come to Mexico and buy a new or a used car. It would make your life so much easier. Take it from me. To be very honest, I can't see a good reason to have a car down here. You can take Uber everywhere, unless maybe you're going to sell real estate down here. I know many realtors that drive people all around Mexico, but I know a very successful realtor here. She takes all of her clients in taxis or in Uber rides. Maybe you have a lot of kids and the kids have activities because they're in schools, but you can get a bus anywhere in Mexico for about 50 cents just to get around town. Teach them how to use the bus. I'm going to be very honest. I would seriously consider selling your car, move down here, save that money, and then look for a new or a used car in Mexico. The car laws are very complicated down here for bringing a car down. Save yourself a lot of headache. I don't think you really need a car in Mexico. Why might you need a car in Mexico? Because you buy a house on a farm lot, or you live way far away from everything that you want to do. You would need a car then. Many cities are very hilly, and you may rent an apartment or buy a house on top of a big hill, and you have to navigate up and down the hill frequently. Again, I love pedestrian traffic. I love to be able to walk out of my apartment, walk a few blocks, get everything I need, and if I need to go to the grocery store, I just take a taxi there and take the taxi back. I only do that once a month. In the long run, you're going to save a lot of money just leaving your car at home and living in a nice pedestrian neighborhood where you have access to everything that you can walk to. Thank you for watching. I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. Leave us a comment. If you know somebody that will benefit from this information, please click the share button. And why not click that like button, and on the way out, click the subscribe button. We have many more videos to come, so we'll see you in the next video.